So Chef Remy is finally ready to serve up another culinary chase, but this time 4,500 miles away over at Epcot when we shrink down to the size of a rat with Remy's Ratatouille adventure. So let's dive into an in-depth review of this new area. Up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, and before we get started I just want to let you all know that I've designed a whole bunch of new Waltoneer t-shirts that are going to be available over on Teespring. And to check out some of the designs you can either look at the merchandise shelf, which should hopefully be below this video on YouTube, or go to dsnyshop.com. But anyways, now let's talk about Ratatouille at Epcot. As when Remy's Ratatouille adventure was officially announced at D23 Expo in July of 2017, there was a lot of fan anticipation surrounding this announcement. As despite the ride being an exact clone of the attraction Ratatouille the Adventure that opened in 2014 at Walt Disney Studios Park in Disneyland Paris, the reason why so many were excited, and still remain to be to this day, is not only because this attraction is based around a beloved Pixar character and produces a very well executed 4D experience suitable for the whole family that includes 3D projection screens and domes mixed with impressive larger than life physical set pieces that adds to the immersive environment, and a few sensory effects like water spray, heat changes and different food sense as well. But more importantly, we the Disney fans did not have to compromise and say goodbye to an existing attraction to receive something new, which makes Remy's Ratatouille adventure the exception to the rule in terms of Epcot. As the pattern at Epcot over the past 25 years or so is that for new attractions to open, they often have to replace a previous attraction in the same location, with examples of this being Test Track replacing World of Motion, Mission Space replacing Horizons, Seas with Nemo and Friends replacing the Living Seas, Soarin' replacing the location where Food Rocks used to be, and of course Frozen Ever After replacing Maelstrom, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind replacing Ellen's Energy Adventure. And so not only is the opening of Remy's Ratatouille adventure adding a completely new attraction to Epcot with an hourly capacity of 2,200 guests per hour, but it also expands the footprint with this entirely new courtyard at the back of the France Pavilion, as this small expansion area has for the most part been excellently themed, with realistic distressed and aged painted stucco exteriors mixed with faux Lucian limestone that represents the Baron Haussmann architectural design style, which much like Place de Remy in Disneyland Paris, results in an end product that pays tribute to the realism whilst also showcasing the romanticised Pixar version of Paris shown within the 2007 movie. But despite the area serving as a mini-land for Ratatouille within Epcot, it also keeps the integrity of World Showcase intact, as there is a natural separation between the authenticity of the existing pavilion at the front and this more stylised version of France around the back. However, even then, the expansion does draw inspiration from real-world elements of Paris, such as the entrance archway into the area is reminiscent of the Art Nouveau metro station entrances, and the canopy that is positioned to obscure the forced perspective view of the Eiffel Tower is actually modelled after the Baltard Pavilion from the Les Halles market district in Paris. But also, as you would expect from Imagineering, there are tons of little Remy-inspired details embedded throughout, along with Ratatouille and Pixar Easter eggs within the patisserie windows, and even a photo opportunity with Linguini's bicycle, Colette's motorbike, and Chef Skinner's Vespa. And personally, one extra thing which I would love to see would have been Ratatouille or Pixar movie posters designed in unique artistic styles and plastered along the walkway on this blank wall space here, invoking the street poster art that can be found around Paris. Although guests are not just going to be drawn to this expansion because of the attraction, but also for the all-new Creperie de Paris. As to my surprise, this restaurant has way more internal seating capacity than I had expected, and also has a walk-up quick service window as well, which I'm sure is going to be incredibly popular. Now, despite the area eliciting a relaxed ambiance during the daytime, it's arguably even more beautiful at night time with the warm glow of this quaint Parisian cul-de-sac. However, the fact that it is a cul-de-sac means that it is essentially a dead end. And as I've previously stated, and having walked up and down that side pathway to the expansion myself,
I think there still remains the risk of crowd flow bottlenecks in the busier times of the year. And so this could have been potentially partially alleviated at Epcot with an alternative exit for those coming off the attraction to exit directly back into World Showcase. And then the other aspect of the exterior theming which I feel could have been vastly improved is the use of the two-dimensional flats to hide the sizable show building. As the thing is that not only are these going to fade in the harsh Florida sun, but also it isn't the most convincing of effects from the ground level and definitely not from the Skyliner. And so personally I would have preferred to see the effect achieved with shallow 3D exteriors that were much less detailed instead, as the 2D flat buildings do cheapen the overall look.
But then we come to the actual attraction itself. And well, considering that it's almost an exact clone of Ratatouille the Adventure that opened over 7 years ago in Disneyland Paris, there's not a huge amount of new things to point out here, as most of you have probably seen at some point a ride POV on YouTube and know what to expect.
But the reason why I say it's almost an exact clone is because the indoor queue at Walt Disney World features an additional scene of an artist's loft, which to Imagineering's credit is well themed and integrates projections to demonstrate the boarding and safety procedures for the ride. But besides that, the ride experience is identical, and that's where I'm a little bit disappointed. And don't get me wrong, this is still a fantastic addition to Epcot that will make guests extremely happy, with an attraction that's suitable for every member of the family, especially the little ones, which let's face it, there isn't a huge amount in the way of offerings for them at Epcot. But I just can't help but feel that Imagineering could have tweaked or enhanced a few things within those 7 years between the Paris version opening and the Walt Disney World version. Such as, for an example, the ride's audio uses the same split dialogue track between English and French, which is definitely needed for Disneyland Paris guests, but not required for Walt Disney World, except for the reasoning that it adds an extra flavour of internationalism to the attraction. But essentially, each line spoken in French and English is communicating the same thing, which means that there was an opportunity for further storyline progression or some sort of simple gags within the Epcot version to make it unique from that of the Paris version. Although the reason why that probably didn't happen is because it would have required reanimating all of the ride show scenes, which I'm guessing was an expense that Disney did not see necessary for this attraction clone. And then the next thing is only a minor one, but it's something that's bugged me over at the Paris version and is true for Epcot as well. And that is that the seam between the screen and the floor is extremely visible, which is a slight distraction within your peripheral vision. And so this could have been remedied with projection mapping advancements found within Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, where the screen curves down to the floor level, or they could have projection mapped the same floor pattern shown on the screen onto the ground in the same way that Enchanted Tales of Beauty and the Beast does over at Tokyo Disneyland with the ballroom scene and those trackless ride vehicles. But those are just two very small areas in which I think it could have been improved. So in conclusion, putting all of that to one side, I think that this attraction is going to be very well received, despite it being a ride from 2014 with technology and ride techniques of that time, which have since progressed with new levels of immersive environments in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and of course Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. And so yes, maybe Ratatouille would have been better to open before those two attractions that both use trackless ride vehicles as well, but as long as guests have the correct expectations and view it through the correct lens, no pun intended, then Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will surely prove to be an extremely popular attraction at Epcot for many years to come, and most importantly give Epcot a new beautifully themed area of a park for guests to enjoy.
But now, it's over to you Waltoners. I would like to know, what are your thoughts and opinions about Remy's Ratatouille Adventure over at Epcot, and in which ways would you have improved it to make it different from that of the Disneyland Paris version? And of course, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere in today's video along with your suggestion or your comment, so therefore that way you're in with a chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast Ratatouille inspired pins. And congratulations to this Waltoner here for this suggestion from the previous video where we were talking all about Genie Plus. And so that's it for today, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to the channel, hit that notification bell so therefore you always receive an update, and if you've enjoyed today's video then be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.